My wife gave me divorce papers on Christmas. Her family cheered until she opened her eviction notice. The celebration ended pretty damn quick. Update 2. My wife's face was bright red. Now you're making me sound like some kind of freeloader. I'm not making you sound like anything. I'm stating facts, but hey, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe you do have legal rights to the house. I reached into my other pocket and pulled out another document. That's why I had my lawyer draw up this summary. Her father's eyes narrowed. What lawyer? The one I hired 6 weeks ago, I said, unfolding the paper. Right after I found the credit card statements you thought you'd hidden so well. The color drained from her face again. What credit card statements? The ones for the cards you opened in your maiden name. The ones with $23,000 in debt that I knew nothing about. The ones you've been making minimum payments on while telling me we needed to cut back on expenses. Her brother shook his head. That's impossible. She wouldn't do that. I handed him my lawyer's summary. Read it yourself. She's been living a double life for months. Designer clothes charged to secret cards. Expensive dinners I never went to. Hotel rooms when she claimed to be visiting friends. The room went dead silent as he read. His expression changed with each line. When he finished, he looked at his sister like he was seeing her for the first time. This says you owe almost $30,000, he said quietly. It's not that simple, she protested. I was going to tell him, I just needed time to figure it out. Her mother grabbed the paper from her son. As she read, her face went through the same transformation. Gel spa treatments, a weekend at the Ritz-Carlton. I needed those things, my wife said, her voice getting desperate. I was stressed. The marriage was falling apart. I deserved to treat myself. With money you didn't have, her father said, his voice cold. Money that you hid from your husband. I leaned back and watched the family dynamic shift in real time. 5 minutes ago, they were celebrating my departure. Now they were looking at their daughter and sister like she was a stranger. The best part, I said, is that according to the law, since we're married, I'm technically responsible for her debts. But since she's the one filing for divorce, and since she opened these accounts in secret, my lawyer thinks we can make a case that she committed fraud. My wife's eyes went wide. Fraud. Financial fraud against a spouse. It's a real thing. Look it up. I stood up and straightened my jacket. So here's what's going to happen. You have 30 days to move out of my house. You have 90 days to figure out how you're going to pay back the money you stole. And you have until the divorce is final to decide whether you want to handle this quietly or whether you want me to press charges. Her family stood there in stunned silence. The golden child had just revealed herself to be a liar and a thief, and they didn't know how to process it. Her mother was the first to break the silence. Now, wait just a minute. You're being unreasonable. Marriages have problems, but you don't just throw someone out on the street. Throw someone out. I laughed. She threw herself out the moment she decided to file for divorce. I'm just making it official. Her father stepped forward, trying to take control. Look, you're both upset. Why don't you take some time to cool down and work this out like adults? We tried that approach, I said, but it's hard to work things out with someone who's been lying about everything. Tell them about the gambling, sweetheart. My wife's face went white. I don't know what you're talking about. I pulled out my phone again and showed them a screenshot. Online poker, slots, sports betting, all from her laptop. All charged to those same secret credit cards. $2,700 in October alone. Her brother snatched the phone from my hand, staring at the screen. Jesus, how much did you lose? It's not losing, she said quickly. It's entertainment. Everyone does it. Everyone doesn't hide it from their spouse, her sister said, her voice sharp. Everyone doesn't rack up debt doing it. I could see the family turning against her in real time. The same people who'd been cheering her divorce papers 10 minutes ago were now looking at her like she was toxic. And the best part, I continued, is that she tried to use our joint savings to cover the gambling losses. 3 separate withdrawals of $2,000 each, money we were supposed to use for a vacation this spring. Her mother sat down heavily. You spent their vacation money gambling. I was going to pay it back, my wife protested. I had a system. I was close to winning big. Her father shook his head in disgust. That's what every addict says. I'm not an addict, she snapped, and I don't need this from any of you. You're supposed to be supporting me. Supporting you in what? Her brother asked. Lying, stealing, gambling away your future. I watched the family implode with quiet satisfaction. They'd spent years making me feel like I wasn't good enough for their precious daughter. Now they were seeing what I'd been dealing with for months. Here's what really happened, I said, addressing the room. She got in over her head financially. She knew I'd find out eventually, so she decided to file for divorce and try to take half of everything I owned. Clean slate, fresh start. Let me deal with the debt she created. Her mother looked at her daughter. Is that true? The silence stretched out until it became an answer, but it backfired, I continued. Because she never bothered to check who actually owned what. She assumed because we were married, she had rights to everything. She assumed I'd just roll over and give her whatever she wanted. She assumed wrong. Her sister was shaking her head. This is insane. How do we not know about any of this? Because she's good at lying, I said simply. Really good. She had me fooled for months, but eventually the truth comes out. It always does. My wife was crying now, but they weren't tears of sadness. They were tears of rage. You planned this whole thing. You set me up. I protected myself. I corrected. Big difference. You made your choices. I just made sure I wouldn't go down with your ship. Her father looked at me with something that might have been respect. How long have you known about the debt? 6 weeks. About the gambling? 4 weeks. About the divorce papers? I suspected for 2 weeks, but I wanted to see how far she'd go. Turns out, pretty far. The room fell silent again. Her family was processing the fact that their celebration had turned into a nightmare, and my wife was finally realizing that her master plan had just blown up in her face. Now you can watch the third part by pressing share and more.